Hello, welcome to another episode of Driveway Garage. Today, I haven't done too much with the lumber, but I thought it's not too hot outside. It's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, a little breeze blowing. I thought I'd go outside and take some bark off some of these logs. It'll make them easier to cut. So I'll show you what I've done so far and how I'm doing it. So this is the first one I did. It was already starting to kind of peel off, so I started taking this pry bar, and then I used that little piece of Trex flooring as another wedge to hold it. And there's one over here I just got done doing. It's really not too bad. You just have to find a starting point. Now, this is one I started milling. I've got this side cut off and the bottom, and I thought, well, if I don't have to go through all that bark and all the dirt and grit that's in the bark, it'll make my blade stay sharp longer. So I'm going to debark some of these if it doesn't get into too much work. I'll show you what I started doing. This is one I just started, and basically you just have to have a starting point. This one seemed really tight, but if you come right down to the end, there's a little bit of a crack right there where the bark ends, the log ends, and I put the pry bar under there and lift up a little bit, and then you just start working your way, and it comes up pretty easy. It's already starting to separate. Then I just keep, let me get you in focus here. It's hard to see what I'm seeing through the camera. There we go. Just start prying back on it. This is where I use that other piece. Sorry, I'm not as prepared as I could be here. There's a bunch of bark I forgot to take to the recycling place when I emptied my trailer. That's what happens when you get old, you get forgetful. I even reminded my 26-year-old son, remind me to dump that in the trailer before I leave. Okay, he didn't either, So I put that board in there, and it just kind of holds it in place so I can work down the log further. I'll get you up here on this wannabe tripod and kind of show you what I do. The hardest part is always trying to figure out what you guys are seeing because of the glare out here. But from the research I've done, I'm no expert on this, I just watch a lot of videos. The bark contains a lot of dirt, grit, whatever. And that's what's hardest on your chainsaw blade, or your chainsaw. Yeah, the chain. Dulls it pretty quick. So I decided before I mill these with my chainsaw, I'll take the bark off. And so you just kind of lift it up a little bit. And then keep prying on it. Lifting on it. Whatever it takes. And then you can pull off a pretty good section at a time. This part of the bark that looks like paper is really tough. You'll have a little strand and you think, I'll just pull that off, but not so. It's wet and it's kind of tough. But all in all, it's a pretty quick process. Now I've noticed wherever you have a knot like here and here, over here, that's where it's the hardest to get the bark off because it stays, wants to stick right there where the knot is. I think this one, if I can get this board down in here. This is where having two different things works. You can pry it apart with one. You can get your second one in there. There we go. So in just a couple minutes time, we can strip off a pretty big piece of bark. And this stuff, like I said, this kind of stronger than you would think. Well, I haven't timed it yet, but as you can see, I took off a pretty good chunk. This log is about 15 feet long, and the hardest part is going to be rolling the thing over to get another shot at the bark. But I'm guessing in 15 minutes, a guy could debark one of these big logs, and then it'll make the milling process a lot easier. Well, thanks for watching, guys. I'll continue my adventure of learning how to mill wood, and if all else fails, I'll cut it up into firewood. But there's just a lot of usable lumber here. Thanks for watching.